Wells Fargo presents one of the surest ways to grow your money. A Wells Fargo CD account, where you can earn a 5.00% annual percentage yield on an 11-month term with a minimum opening deposit of $5,000. Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/CD rates to open a CD account and start growing your savings with us.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Hey, it's Storyworthy. Today on the show, comedian Geoffrey Asmus talks about getting mugged in Chicago.
Seemed like it was over. It seemed like mugging complete. He took my phone and my headphones, and he took my credit card too, but I canceled it, so he didn't get anything from it. So then I start walking away from this guy at 4 a.m., deserted Chicago, and I'm maybe a half a block away from him, and he yells, "Hey man, come back here. I need your help." And I'm such a little coward. And so I walk back to this guy who just violently mugged me. And we sit on there's like a stoop of like an apartment where a family lives. And he's like, "Man, I need you to help factory reset your phone."
Today on the show, comedian Geoffrey Asmus talks about getting mugged. Stay close.
Hey, it's Geoffrey Asmus, and you're listening to Storyworthy.
Welcome to Storyworthy. My name is Christine Blackburn, and I'm coming to you from Los Angeles, California. Whether you're a longtime fan of the show of 13 years or you're a brand new listener, welcome to Storyworthy. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the show last week with writer and actor Chris Gethard. Chris Gethard, holy cow, what a talent, man. This guy has written on so many shows like The Office and Parks and Rec and Crashing, and he just works and works and works. But the story he told last week was pretty damn cool, man. He talks about being in his New York City apartment. He has a wife. He has a brand new baby. And it's just him and the baby. And this guy comes to deliver a Christmas tree. That sounds simple enough, right? But then the guy turns out to be like psychotic. And the baby's in the other room. And it's just getting creepier and creepier. And Chris can't get rid of this guy. Anyway, go back, you guys. Listen to Chris's story last week because it is damn good, man. It's really good. But not today, you guys. Stick with me now because today I'm here with another very talented comedian, Geoffrey Asmus. And I got to tell you, Geoffrey, maybe because I'm in LA and you're in New York and I'm not sure, but I never met you before. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me. Yeah, thanks for squashing the bi-coastal beef together. Yeah, it's good to meet some LA people.
Well, I tell you what, man, you got a lot going on, and you're, as I said, you're a comedian, but you're touring a lot. You are really hustling. I'm so impressed with your whole schedule. And a lot of this is culminating in July 20th when your first debut. This is the first one. Comedy special drops. How excited are you?
Pretty excited. Yeah, it's been 10 years in the making, so pretty exciting. Yeah, hopefully.
Man. Hopefully
it goes well. Yeah, should be a good time.
I have done solo shows, but I haven't done like a comedy album yet. And
sure.
I hear what you're saying. Like, it's all this buildup, right? So you've been working as a comedian for all these years, and all of a sudden it's going to flip and you're going to drop it. July 20th. And then you know what people are going to say to you, Geoffrey? What's next? I mean, when's the next album coming?
I know. I'm already mad about it. I'm already going to be annoyed by it. It's like, give me a month off.
No.
I don't want to write a new joke for a month.
That's not going to happen. You're going to get pressure. But it is exciting.
People are already asking before it's even out. They're already asking.
Are you doing a Christmas special or what, man?
Right. Do a crowd work special. Yes, something. Yeah.
All right. So the special is called The Only Funny White Man.
Yes. The Only Funny White Man. Take that very seriously. Of course, I mean that. It's not a joke at all.
Well, back it up.
Yeah.
What are you saying? I mean, obviously it's funny just in that. Is that as simple? Yeah.
I think it's very funny to be arrogant. I think arrogance is a very funny thing. Anyone who believes they're the best at something usually is not. So I have kind of this persona on stage where I'm the greatest comedian of all time.
Yeah.
And I think it's a fun little vibe.
You are very funny. And I've watched several of your sets on YouTube. You're very likable, man. You're very likable.
Oh, good. Because I say very unlikable things, so that's good.
No,
I have to be likable to say them.
You know you are. You know you are. You're like everybody's brother. You're just like a dude. Like you are very likable. And the jokes come out of your mouth, you know, even if it might sound offensive for a second, it's not because it's you. You're saying.
Right.
You know, so
I've learned it's a trick. I smile a lot on stage. If you smile, even if you're saying the darkest thing imaginable, as long as you're smiling, people are like, oh, he doesn't mean it. He doesn't really think that about abortion or whatever. So it tricks. It's a stupid human trick.
It's great. No, it's great. I think it's really very funny. And you're clearly very talented. Now, you also have a podcast that I have found very funny as well. It's called You're an Idiot Pod. That's the name of the show. It's the name of the show is just You're an Idiot, right?
You're an Idiot. Yeah,
right.
You're an Idiot podcast.
We can find it on Instagram at You're an Idiot Pod. But the name of the show is just You're an Idiot. So here you have you, comedian Geoffrey Asmus, and a friend of yours named Alec Drosevich, right?
It's Dragovich. Yeah, it's a weird like Balkan name, Alex Dragovich. Yeah.
So, have you guys been friends forever, or what's the story there?
Yeah, we came up in Chicago together probably like 6 or 7 years ago. I've been doing comedy a little longer than him, but we started together in Chicago and we became fast friends. We're kind of like the whole premise of the podcast is basically he was like a college Division I basketball player who's kind of an idiot. And I'm like maybe more of a nerdy, smart guy who doesn't quite know how to live life, though. So that's kind of the dichotomy we're going for.
The dichotomy is nobody knows anything. That's the funny.
Yes. Yeah. He doesn't know anything about books. I know nothing about human interaction. And so that's good.
It's really very funny because like you'll say to him, what happens every month when a woman has her menstruation, her menses? What happens?
He really fumbled that one. He did not know what the period was. He
had no concept what happened.
Yeah.
He would not.
I bet he still probably wouldn't. I bet if I asked him again.
He has never heard the word uterus. He never heard the word lining.
No.
He never heard the word shedding.
He had no idea. Well, he played like basketball his whole life, so he didn't have to learn. He was like a college basketball star, so he never had to
Well,
try.
that's the joke. Why would he know?
Yeah.
And then you'll say to him,
Yeah.
Okay, now, could you please describe to me what is Islam?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he has no idea. Cultural history. He's lost.
It's so damn funny. But it makes sense that he wouldn't know. I mean, in other words, that's why the show is kind of playful. Like nobody's taking anything as an attack. You know, we're all idiots. We're all idiots. You could ask anybody, describe Islam, and probably only 1 out of 10 is going to be able to give you a good answer.
Yeah. He's not actually stupid. He's more the average person. So, and I am like a huge nerd, so I'm actually kind of the loser, really.
Well, I think it's very, very funny. You guys check it out. You're an Idiot Pod. Very funny. And today you bring forth the topic getting mugged, which is
getting mugged. Yes.
You know, a pretty big deal. I'm anxious to hear the story. I will say that when I was in college, I witnessed a mugging. And this woman I was sitting on like a stoop in Pittsburgh waiting for my girlfriend to come home. And so I'm waiting on her stoop outside. And there's, I'm in the city and there's a woman with her, carrying a bag. And this car pulls up. One guy jumps out of the car, runs around, goes up to her and punches her hard. And she falls down and then he takes her bag and they're off. And I saw the whole thing. But he happened to hit her with these brass knuckles
Oh, wow.
which is like
You always think,
so 1970s. I mean,
yeah, you always think that's an urban legend. Yeah, you've never seen anyone use brass knuckles before. That's
right.
crazy.
So this woman, her name is Faith, and she's on the sidewalk. She is out. I find out her name later is Faith. And I don't know where I get the authority, but I'm like, you call 911, you get that. And I start
Right.
shouting, and the police come. And anyway, the woman ended up, she had what is called, what's it called when you can't remember anything? Amnesia.
Oh, like some amnesia.
She had amnesia.
Really, for the rest of her life, or
well, at least when I saw her in trial, like a year later, there's a trial.
Whoa.
And now I'm
Damn.
like 19 or 20 and I have to go to court and I don't know anything about anything either.
Yeah.
But I call my older sister and I ask her if I could borrow clothes to wear to court because I don't have any clothes. So she gives me this outfit. And I go to court and I'm trying to like be all like, oh, look at me. I'm in an outfit and I'm going to tell on you kind of thing. And I'm in court and they call my name and I go up to the witness stand and I fucking lay it out, man. I was so proud of myself. And then I go back and take my seat and I look down and my zipper was completely open.
Oh, no. That's why everyone was just nodding along. Sure, lady. Yeah, I'm sure that happened.
I was a child.
Yeah.
I was a kid. Anyway.
Did they caught the guy or the person?
They did. They caught the
it?
two people. It was interesting. The guy that did it was only 15. The guy driving the car was 18. So the 18-year-old who didn't even mug her, but he was driving the car, he gets sentenced like big time prison now. But the other kid, the kid that actually hit her with the cool knuckles, he just got like juvenile detention home or whatever.
Wow. Okay. That's why you be a criminal when you're a kid. Then you don't go to jail.
Well, that's what I try to teach my child. Yeah. Exactly. Commit your crimes now. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
anyway,
that's scary.
Anxious though. Yeah, it was scary and a little much for me. I'm not into violence. I don't know if anybody is into violence, but I am not.
People are these days. MMA, UFC is huge. Yeah, people love that stuff. I'm not into it either.
I don't want to feel hit and I don't want to hit. Like I can't.
Yeah.
Look, when I even do my good. Yeah, when I do my fist, I put my thumb inside.
Yeah, you're not even trying. Yeah, that's not a good fist, I don't think. I've never punched anyone. I don't look like I have. I don't think anyone's thinking I'm a fighter.
But you did grow up in Chicago, right?
I actually grew up in Minnesota. This story takes place in Chicago because I lived there, but I'm from Minnesota.
Are you from?
I'm actually in Minnesota. I'm in Minneapolis right now, where I'm from. Yeah.
Oh, you're in the Minneapolis.
Yes, I am in a hotel in Minneapolis right now. Yes.
Sexy.
Yes.
Did you ever see the film Young Adult?
I don't know. I never know.
Charlize Theron.
And
Patton Oswalt.
What's that about?
You need to put that down. Write that down. Charlize Theron.
In Minnesota?
Yeah, it's all in Minneapolis, and she becomes a really famous YA author, like young adult author.
Oh, sure.
And she comes back for her high school reunion, and everybody else in Minneapolis, all of her friends, they're just regular. After high school, they moved on, and they're all in the suburbs and married or whatever. But the character Charlize Theron plays, she's not left high school. She's like in an Arrested Development. So she's all dressed up and she's got the nails and all the makeup. And they're all looking at her like, who are you? Why are you acting like an idiot?
Gotta move on.
Yeah. And then Patton Oswalt is also in the class and he's just like a loser, in the class. But they hook up. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, that's a wild pairing, Patton. Good for Patton Oswalt. Was this in the 90s or early 2000s?
It was in the early 2000s. It's a damn good movie, man. It's really good. It's called Young Adult. And she talks about going back to the Minneapolis,
Oh, that's what they call it. I've never actually heard anyone say that.
Oh, okay.
I've never heard that.
Anyway, you're going to love it. It's really well done. And Patton is so good. Oh, my gosh. It's wonderful.
That's a classic early 2000s movie where a beautiful woman hooks up with a guy she would never talk to in real life.
Right.
It's a classic.
Right. But when they hook up, it's exactly what sex is. It's awkward. He has on these ripped boxer shorts and she's in like this, her Spanx. You know what Spanx are, like the underclothing?
Yeah,
Like it's just all very
yeah.
uncomfortable.
Oh, so it's very realistic. That's good.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly. So it's
Yeah.
really good. So you're gonna love that. Anyway,
Okay, I'll look that
we're
up.
gonna get to your story in 1 second, but before we do, I wanted to
Sure.
remind everybody that we are playing Story Smash, the storytelling game show here in Los Angeles. The next show is Saturday, July 15th. We've got Danny Zucker, Peter Melman, and Melissa Peterman. You guys, that's like 11 Emmys in those three people. So get on it. Check it out. Story Smash, the storytelling game show. It's the funniest show you'll ever see in Los Angeles. Go to storysmashshow.com for more information. Tickets are only $15. Remember, you guys, Saturday, July 15th, Story Smash, the storytelling game show, is over at the Lyric Hyperion. All right, you guys, let's get over to our storyteller right now, Geoffrey Asmus. I'm so happy to meet you. And, I know I love comedians, and you have got a really great, accomplished career going on. You've got major tour dates happening, and you're podcasting with your buddy, a really funny show called You're an Idiot. So check that out, you guys. You can find it on Instagram at You're an Idiot Pod. Also, I wanted to mention that Geoffrey has a special coming out, The Only Funny White Man. It's coming out July 20th. Is that Comedy Dynamics, or who's putting it?
No, it's just me just independently releasing it. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Just putting it out. Yeah.
And will it be on Amazon Prime, or how can we find this?
I think it's just going to be YouTube for now. Maybe later it might go somewhere else. But yeah, it's all independently made. I produced it with some friends of mine. So it's all me, really.
It's awesome.
On YouTube. Yeah.
Well, I'm really happy for you.
It looks great. They did a good job. I'm excited about it.
I'm so happy for you. It's a big, big deal. And the name of the show is, like we said, The Only Funny White Man. And then you can find more information about Geoffrey over at his website, whitecomedian.com, which is bold. That's a bold...
It gets clicks. It gets clicks. It's all about clickbait these days. You got to get clicks, whether they're good or bad.
That's right. I think it's very funny. So check them out over there again at whitecomedian.com. All right, you guys, wherever you are, put your hands together for the very talented Geoffrey Asmus.
Okay, this is where I begin my story. Okay, this story takes place in Chicago, Illinois, great city. This was June or July of 2020. Where the big pandemic is happening. Everything's shut down in Chicago, at least. No one's outside. It's a ghost town. But we can admit a lot of us were having secret gatherings. We weren't taking pictures of it. We weren't posting on Instagram, but I think we can all admit now we were all gathering. But so me and my friends would do poker every couple weeks during the pandemic, like 8 to 10 of us would get together illegally, not good, whatever. But we're getting together, playing poker, having a good time. And I end up winning this night. Great. I'm bad at poker, but I win like $200 this night. I get hammered. I'm very, very drunk, very high. It's 4 a.m. in Lakeview, Chicago, which is actually a pretty quiet, safe neighborhood. So it was like a 20-minute walk from where I lived, and also Lakeview, Chicago. So I'm like, I'll just walk home, 4 a.m.
By yourself?
By myself. Well, I was with a friend for like a couple blocks, but then he left, and then I'm walking home alone at about 4 a.m. Streets are entirely deserted. It's the pandemic. No big deal. And I'm wearing a ridiculous outfit. I'm wearing like this like lime green polo and like golf shorts. I look like one of the biggest douchebags of all time, but it was the pandemic. I didn't really care anymore. So, and I have on these big headphones. I'm listening to Sheryl Crow. I love listening to a little bit of my girl Sheryl Crow, just dancing, singing. I'm drunk. I won $200, having a good night. And then this guy starts walking up next to me. And I'm very naive. I'm from the suburbs of Minnesota. I've never really experienced crime, honestly. So I don't think I was like, oh, maybe he's also on a walk at 4 a.m. Whatever. I have a friend. I should be scared, but I'm not, because I'm naive and very drunk. And this guy, he's like this lanky, tall, white dude. He looks just like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob, if you've ever seen that movie, like the long hair.
Sure.
He's skinnier. I'm very skinny and weak. He's skinnier and weaker than me. So I'm not really scared of him at all. But he, after like maybe like a 30 seconds of walking next to each other, he jumps in front of me and just screams like, give me your money. And then he doesn't even touch me. And I just fall over. I crumple to the ground. He doesn't even lay a single micron of his body. He doesn't even touch me. I just like, and I fall over and it's so embarrassing. It was, I wish someone would have filmed it. Probably would have been one of the most embarrassing things of all time. And then I realized later I broke my wrist when I fell too. I didn't know at the time.
Oh,
I later revealed that I had broken a wrist, and it still actually kind of hurts to this day. But so I fall over and he's like, give me your money, give me your wallet. But so I didn't have a wallet. I did a thing at that point in my life where I just would carry a credit card in my pocket because I was a worthless little child. So he's just like, give me your wallet, you fuck, I have a gun. He kept saying he had a gun. I never saw it, but he said he had a gun, whatever. So and if someone says they have a gun, I believe them. That's just the type of guy I am. I consider the pocket half filled with guns.
Yes.
That's just how I live my life, optimistically, cynically. So, I keep telling the guy, I don't have a wallet. I don't carry a wallet. And he keeps getting more angry every time I say, he's like, everyone has a fucking wallet, dude. You gotta have a wallet. He can't imagine that this 30-year-old man doesn't have a wallet, but I don't. I just have one. And I didn't win cash at the poker game. It was Venmo, so I don't have any cash. I have nothing for this man to steal.
Wow.
Really. So I don't have any. He does take my phone, but it was like an old phone. I wasn't really that sad about that. And then he just would not believe I don't have a wallet. So he ends up putting his hands in all my 4 pockets and pulling them out to like I'm being mugged as like by like the schoolyard bully or whatever. And it's just like lint and dimes and a pube or two. And he's like, this isn't really what I wanted. Okay. And I'm like bleeding. My elbows and wrists are bleeding. I'm like hammered drunk. So I really wasn't in pain at all. I was like, this is kind of exciting. Finally, something interesting happening to me.
Where's your headset? Where's the headset?
The headphones clattered off, and he took those too, but they were like $50 headphones. It wasn't that big of a deal. But so it seemed like it was over. It seemed like mugging complete. He took my phone and my headphones, and he took my credit card too, but I canceled it, so he didn't get anything from it. But so then I start walking away from this guy at 4 a.m. deserted Chicago, and like I'm like maybe a half a block away from him, and he yells, "Hey man, come back here. I need your help." And I'm such a little coward. You would think I would just keep running or I would go away. I turned around and I went back to the guy. I was like, my friend needs me. He needs my help. And because I'm just like so like it's really embarrassing. And I'm like so like passive aggressive Minnesota nice. I'm like, I need to help this man. No matter what he did with me, he's still a child of God. We need to help him out. And so I walk back to this guy who just violently mugged me. And we sit on there's like a stoop of like an apartment where a family lives. And he's like, man, I need you to help factory reset your phone. He's like, he doesn't know how to reset my phone. He's like tweaking. He's clearly on like PCP or something. He's not. He's on some drug or something. And he doesn't know how to factory reset my phone. So I'm like, oh man, I'll do it for you. Don't worry. I got you. And I'd never factory reset phone. It's really not that hard, but it takes like 15 minutes. It's a long process actually.
Yeah.
So we're just at some point, we're just like sitting there waiting for this thing to load. And we just have like small talk. We're just like talking. He's just like, hey, how's your day going? I'm like, well, you mugged me. It's not going great. But and he's like, sorry, I had to mug you, man. I didn't really want to, but my wife has cancer. I had to mug you. No hard feelings, I hope. And he's like playing this like, I doubt he was telling the truth, but I'm drunk. I'm like, oh, it's so sorry, man. Anything I can do, let me know. I'm like being like this like little bitch, just not standing up for myself. And then at one point, my phone was really low on battery, and it looked like it might die before the the factory reset complete, and he just was like, matter of fact, like, if your phone dies, I'm gonna have to kill you, man.
No, he didn't say that.
He's like, if your phone dies, I'm gonna shoot you. I really need this. So let's hope the phone, which would be a very arbitrary way to die. Just like, I guess why Jeff die? I guess lithium batteries aren't what they used to be. You know, the Chinese made iPhone didn't work out as well. So eventually it does reset. And we're just talking at 4 a.m, very surreal. No one on the streets, Chicago, Illinois.
All of your information is being deleted.
All my information, which is actually, in retrospect, good, because he could have just gone on my phone and Venmoed himself money or something.
Oh,
I think my phone had been like open when he mugged me because I was on it, so he didn't need he could have stolen a lot of money. It was actually, in the end, a good thing that I reset it. He didn't get anything from me. But eventually it finishes. It is probably 15 to 20 minutes of waiting. And we're just having a conversation like, it sucks that baseball isn't happening. Oh, yeah. What do you think about the pandemic? Oh, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? I don't know. Is it conspiracy theories? I'm sure. I think we talked about conspiracy theories because he's on PCP. That's what he wants to talk about. But eventually he's just like, oh, thanks, man, for doing this. So nice to meet you. And he fist bumps me. And my fist, of course, is covered in blood because he had just mugged me. But I was just like, great to meet you, man. And then I walk away and he yells, if you ever need Coke, hit me up.
No.
I was like, I would if I had a phone. I don't have a phone, but And then I walked away, and that was how I got mugged in Chicago. Yeah, it was pretty wild.
He took your headset.
He took everything I had, it's just my phone and my headset. But he's like, I'll give you drugs if you want them. But I'm like, well, I don't have a phone.
Then you stumble back home,
and then I stumbled back to my friend's house actually because I actually only made it like a block or two, and I stumbled and I banged on his door because I don't think he had a buzzer or something. Yeah, I just banged, and thank God him and my other friend were still up late because they were degenerates. And I just knock on their door bleeding, and they're just like, I tell them this story, and they're like, oh, that's so pathetic. They're just like, this is so embarrassing. And I remember they made me a screwdriver, and we just kind of talked it over at like 5 a.m. And then I woke up and really couldn't believe what had happened. It was one of those surreal things. Like, I wasn't blackout drunk, but I was right there. So I actually forgot about it when I woke up until probably like noon.
And it hit you.
Oh yeah, I got mugged last night. That's right.
So you never called 911?
I never. Well, also that was the other thing. It happened like right after all the Black Lives Matter protests, which I went to in Chicago. Yeah. And I felt like it would have been very hypocritical to call the cops after I've been marching like, die pigs, die, or whatever. Like, fuck the police. I felt like it would be very hypocritical to call the cops. And also, in the end, what would have they done? I really doubt they could have found the guy.
Yeah, now you're asking too much. You're asking too much.
Yeah, I didn't want to get them involved, so I chose not to call them.
I don't know. It's upsetting. So they didn't get any of the poker money. You had
no money. I made $200 still that night. Yeah.
So did you have to buy a new phone? Is that what you did?
I did buy a new phone, but it was pretty near the end of it. It wasn't like, I can't remember. It was like an iPhone 8 or 9. It wasn't much really.
Well, and you can also get the refurbished ones. I always do that. I never.
Yeah, it wasn't. I probably was out with the poker winnings. I was probably even on the end. In the end, it wasn't a big deal. So it was more my pride. It was more my pride that was. Oh, and then a week later, I broke both of my arms, but that's a separate incident. Yeah, I had a really bad about 10-day stretch during the pandemic.
How did you break your arms?
Well, I guess that actually is kind of not really. It was during the pandemic, so like comedy stopped, of course. Right. And I thought you didn't know how long the pandemic was going to last. Right, so I was like, oh, stand up might be over forever. I might need to find a different career path. So I was like, I'm going to go to grad school. I'm going to be a professor as long as I always wanted to be a history professor. So I was like, I'll go to DePaul. That's the college in Chicago, go to grad school. So I went to the bookstore, bought like the big, thick GRE book. That's like the test you have to study for grad school.
Nightmare.
And I had just bought a new bike. I was like, kind of fun biking around the city when there's no one there during the pandemic. And I put the book in like a little plastic bag.
Yeah.
I put it around my
handlebar.
the handlebars. You're never supposed to do that, I guess. I didn't know that. But then the book, I'm biking really fast down the Broadway Avenue in Chicago, and it gets caught. The book gets caught in the spokes, and I just go flying.
Boom,
I flew probably 20 to 25 feet in the air. And if I hadn't been wearing a helmet, I probably would not.
Yeah.
I have severe brain damage probably.
Yeah, for sure.
I slammed on both my wrists, and
that's it. Break them.
The adrenaline, it's kind of amazing. I didn't really feel that much pain, honestly.
Yeah.
And I was able to push my bike home like a mile.
Oh my gosh.
But then the adrenaline wore off, and I limply knocked on the door, and I was like, I broke both my arms.
Oh.
Take me to the hospital. And thank God it was like a block away. We lived right next to the hospital. And I broke both my wrists. I re-broke this one, which I'd already broken. I knew I was probably broken, but it wasn't that bad, so I didn't get a cast. But I broke both my wrists, both my elbows, and both my arms.
Oh, God. That is so horrible.
Yeah, I was in a cast like this. I couldn't move my elbows.
Could you brush your teeth? Could you do your face? Could you wash your hair?
I couldn't wipe my ass. I couldn't do anything. My friend,
Who helped you?
My friend Jenna was very kind to me. She helped me out. She made she made a fork that had like a couple long chopsticks on it. So I had a really long fork that I would eat off of.
I can't believe it. That's so upsetting.
It was very painful
very
for like
upsetting.
2 or 3 weeks. Until I could move my elbows, it was pretty bad. That was bad for like 2 or 3 weeks.
So you have to go to the hospital, and of course their priority are the COVID patients.
Right.
But there's still stuff going on. People are still having heart attacks and falling off bicycles. So now you come in, everybody's in a mask, of course.
Yes. I couldn't get a mask on, so they had to put it on. I couldn't put masks on or anything. Yeah.
So because I've broken my wrist before too. Always for me, it's been playing tennis and then I fall. And again, you catch yourself. Right. And I did it skiing once too. You catch yourself and then that's like, I think it's called the ulnar collateral ligament.
I think that's what I broke. Yeah. It like will never really fully heal.
I have the same problem. Right. Yeah. No, it's actually kind of a big deal. It's a tiny little ligament, like maybe the size of a few hairs, but I could have surgery, damage.
But it's like not worth it to have a surgery. Yeah.
Try to hold off on surgeries. I find in life.
Yeah. It's just, I just can't do push-ups. It's not like I was doing, I wasn't like doing a lot of push-ups beforehand.
As a comedian, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah.
But
exactly.
when you had when you were mugged the first time, did that guy break your wrist at that juncture, or what was that one?
So I fell down, and looking back, I now know that it was broken because it hurt terribly for like a week and I could barely move it. But I was just like, it's a sprain. I'm 31 years old. I didn't break my wrist falling down, but that is what happened.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I mean, he didn't even touch me, and it was like
you were just scared.
It was like a Three Stooges like fall, like
I know,
like
but you also had your headphones on, so you weren't.
I had headphones.
Yeah,
I was scared.
And you were really scared. Thinking, and it was the middle of the night, very unexpected. I mean,
I was pretty drunk, so your balance is off.
It's all screwed up. I'm super glad you didn't have any cash on you. That's great to hear. The Venmo.
I never carry cash, so I never.
So interesting.
If you're thinking about mugging me, don't.
It's not. Yeah, I have nothing.
I got nothing to offer.
So interesting. And then the fact that he took your phone that was already kind of old, that kind of makes you feel better, Yeah, And
exactly.
that that you really did. You handled the entire mugging with a lot of class, Geoffrey, is what you did.
Yeah, I did. A lot of cowardice and class.
A lot of cowardness, but also a lot of class. Most people don't go back when they say, hey, come back and help me finish robbing you.
Yeah, my friends will never stop making fun of me for that.
And they shouldn't.
They should not. I'm just like, oh, sure, sir, I'll help you out. A man in need. Yeah.
Really brilliant.
I might have been so drunk I'd forgotten he was the guy who mugged me.
Yeah.
I don't even know what was going through my head.
It's just so funny to sit down and take the phone out of his hand and then start deleting your life because he told you to.
Yeah, right. Yeah, thank God he did, actually. It's good.
I know.
The thing is, I'm like, that he was very pilled out. I could have easily run away with the phone, probably.
That's what I mean.
I'm a fairly fast runner. I think I could have run away from him, but of course, he says he has a gun. You believe him, so
right. Yeah. And also, those kinds of guys are very unpredictable because we don't know.
Yeah, you don't know what he'll do.
They don't know what they'll do either. Like
he doesn't even know. Yeah,
nobody's making sense.
Shaking.
Yeah. So if he did have a gun, you could be dead for nothing.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's not worth it.
You never know. That night you didn't take a lift home because your friend's walking with you part way, and you're thinking, "I'm just walking home."
I'm just like, and it's like in the pandemic, there's no one.
Nobody's
on the streets
outside
at any time of day. I assumed crime was kind of done for a couple months, and it's like only like a 15-minute walk. It actually, the thing, it's a very safe neighborhood. Like Chicago has a reputation of crime, but the area I lived in is not that at all. So it was kind of shocking that it happened. Yeah.
Was the mugger guy wearing a mask?
He was not. No, he was not. No,
I'm surprised you didn't give him a few, what was it called again? A92s or what?
Oh, yeah. You want an M85 or whatever?
What were they called?
I think it was N85.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
I should have been like, you got to say social distance, man. Got it.
Yeah.
No mugging. We got to social distance.
I'm happy.
You got to shoot me. You can't hit me.
I'm happy you don't carry cash anymore. Cash is definitely something that's kind of gone by the wayside for a lot of people.
I have it in comedy because I get paid in cash a lot, but otherwise I would never have cash.
My kid is 16. They laugh at me when I use cash and change. Yeah. And if I use change, they'll downright leave. I mean,
change is millennials throw change in the trash. It's not even worth to carry it.
There's trash in my kid's bedroom. There will be dimes and nickels and pennies in the trash can. Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, we're just like, we're done with these coins. We don't care.
What are you doing? I mean, I guess I'm
still a little older where I still keep the change. I'm like, I might need to play Miss Pac-Man or something.
You never know. But there's laundry. The point is just that, you guys do need to understand the currency, just the idea. In other words, it's not just all e-throw. Like I say do this and then it sends this money from there to there. Yeah, but what money? What are you talking about?
Right. And one day that will be deleted or something will have the grid will go down and we'll need coins and stuff.
You don't know. You never know. But I'm glad you don't carry it in general.
Yeah, I was lucky that night because I think I told them, Venmo me, don't give me cash or whatever for the poker game. So I'm glad that worked out.
Me too. We're going to wrap it up in a second. Let me just ask you, is your family proud of you?
My family, you know what they are recently? They actually my parents were very anti-comedy for many years. They were very happy I thought of going back to grad school. And I did actually go to 2 semesters at DePaul before I was like, no, I'm going to do comedy.
Yeah.
But so they were like, oh, he's finally gotten off that comedy path. Like, cause I get it a little bit because like comedy, you don't make money for years. So they're just worried about me trying to pay through life. But now I'm doing decently. They see that and they're proud of me now.
I'm glad. Well,
not for a while.
But you're selling places out. You've got this incredible tour date ahead of you. You're very funny on the podcast. It's super silly. So it seems like Geoffrey Asmus is living his best life, man.
They finally are. I think the pandemic since then it's kind of been going well.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
I know the pandemic was bad for many people, but I kind of had a great time.
Yeah,
so
I had a good pandemic.
It went well for me.
Yeah, I had a good pandemic.
It was actually, I think it changed my life for the better.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I enjoyed my pandemic as well. But
nice.
Also, I think that when people get down on, when parents or anybody older is just like, I don't know, because I hear my sisters, my whole family's in Pittsburgh and I'm out here in LA and my sisters are like, I don't know what she's doing, but I've been here for 26 years. I mean, I've been here forever.
Right, you figured it out.
Yeah. In other words, I want to say to them, like, no, you don't have to be a comedian. I'm a comedian.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
No, I'm not saying this is your life. This is just my life.
Yeah, they just have dreams that they wanted me to live for them, and they've finally gotten over that.
But I
think parents get scared too because they're raised in this like 9 to 5. You work in an office, this is how you go. And comedy is it's up and down. You don't know when
It's
your
very
next meeting's coming.
generational too, though. Like it's the older generation, the people that have everything that are concerned about you because they think that you need a dishwasher. And you're saying, no, I don't. I don't need a dishwasher. And
I don't care about that.
Yeah, but what about your garage? Where's your driveway? Where's your washer dryer? And you say, I don't care about that because I'll do coin laundry because I save my coins.
Yeah. You don't want a lawn. You don't want a fence.
Yeah.
I'm like, no,
they can't get their head around it. They cannot get their head around it. But then that's when I say that you say, okay, just to reiterate, this is my life and I'll do what I do. And then you do what you do. How about that?
Yeah, I've had many of those arguments where we're screaming. Yeah, there's been a few, not as calmly as you said it, but now we're good. We're all good.
I'm so glad.
They're into it now.
Yeah, you definitely get to a point.
Nice.
Yeah, and people realize like, oh, I see, he's happy. Oh, interesting.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, because I'm in Minneapolis, so I'm headlining the comedy club that we used to go to in like high school. So that's like
huge.
That's a big thing for my parents to see. Like, it's kind of. The doing stuff in New York doesn't really mean much to them
because it's not tangible.
They've never been there. They don't know what the Comedy Cellar is, but like headlining Acme Comedy Club in Minneapolis, they're like, oh, he made the big time.
Yay!
Like that means something to them.
Well, that's wonderful, and it is big time, and it is important, and all these choices we make. It is important. It is important.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we can let stuff go, but also it's important because we got a path. Comedians is very independent work, and everybody has their own focus on what they're doing, and you can't negate that with another person because it's their path.
Yeah, there's no one true way to success, especially now. There used to be maybe a couple, but now there's just whatever you want to do, go for it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. There's no one way. That's for sure.
It's the Wild West right now.
Yeah, it really is. All right, you guys, we're going to wrap this up. Geoffrey, thank you so much. I'm really happy to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you. Thanks for having me and listening to my little tale.
I love your tale. I love your podcast. And you guys have to go over to whitecomedian.com to find out more about Geoffrey and get ready for that comedy special coming out on July 20th. The Only Funny White Man.
Yes, come please watch it. It's going to be very funny. I swear if you don't enjoy it, I'll give you $1 on Venmo.
Oh, it's going to be really good. I can't wait. And make sure you check out the You're an Idiot podcast. Very funny, very silly. You're an idiot. You're going to love it. And guys, don't forget to check out storyworthypodcast.com to join my mailing list and all that good stuff. Remember, Story Smash is on July 15th. Everything is good. Thank you for listening. I love you so much. On behalf of the very talented Geoffrey Asmus, thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Storyworthy, for having me. Hell yeah.
My name is Christine Blackburn saying, make it a story-worthy week.
Thanks for joining us on the Storyworthy Podcast. We'll be back next week with all new stories. Subscribe to Storyworthy on iTunes and visit the Storyworthy website at storyworthypodcast.com.
Hello, Saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.